Okay, we're going to start out with laying out our puppet. We're going to take our piece of foam and lay out our pieces on the foam however they'll fit. Then you're going to take a marker and trace around each of the pieces, which will make them a lot easier to cut out. You can also, instead of using paper pattern pieces, you can just get like an old cereal box or any kind of cardboard and cut your pieces out on cardboard. After you've traced all the pieces onto your foam, then you should use your marker again and write on each piece what they are, so that once you cut them out, you'll be able to find them really quickly. Make sure you add your reference lines onto your foam, and you can do this by just poking holes. I poked some holes through these holes on the reference line, and then I lay it on my pattern and use my Sharpie to make the little reference dots on the actual pattern, on the foam. And then I just trace the line. So now I have that on my foam. And I'll do it on the other side, but I want to make sure I do it on the correct side, because the two pattern pieces are going to lay together like this to form the body. So I'm going to do the same thing and add my reference lines to this piece of foam. Okay, so I've got all my pattern pieces cut out, and they're all correctly labeled so I can find what I need. And now I'm going to attach the body. Now you can use contact glue for this, or you can use a hot glue gun. If you use the right contact glue, it would go by faster, but I'm going to use my hot glue gun. Alright, so you've got some glue on there, and you just attach the pieces together and hold it there for a few minutes. And you can add a little more glue to it. It doesn't matter if you get anything on the foam, because you're not going to see the foam. It's going to be under the puppet. Hold that together and let it dry. Now we have to actually attach this part of the body too, so it's going to go together like this, all the way up. And when you get to the top part and you put these two pieces together, try to line up your reference lines. And you can see I'm a little bit off with my cutting, but that's alright because I'll trim that away. But it's going to bow up when you pull these two pieces together, and that's alright. That's what's going to give our puppet a rounded head. So we're going to continue attaching. It's a little slower with a glue gun because you have to kind of wait for it to dry. You want to let this bottom part get completely dry before you attach these two top pieces, because once that starts to bow out, this might come apart if it's not completely dry. So take your time and don't rush it. This part you're going to have to kind of hold together while it dries because of that bowing out. Again, it's okay. We want it to bow like that because we want the puppet to have a round head, not a flat head. Add some more glue in there to get these pieces to go together. And I'm going to use my fingers like this to hold it there. Hot glue is just that. It's hot. So I recommend having a little bowl of water or a little squirt bottle with water in it to dip your fingers in when you accidentally get hot glue on your fingers. And believe me, you will get hot glue on your fingers at some point in time. I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to add hot glue along this line, kind of pressing down a little bit to get it down in the seam, just to make sure that it's good and tight. Okay, so we've got that together, and we're going to give it a minute to dry. Once that's dry, then you're going to fold it together like this, just with the bow on the inside. The head is like that. And you're going to pull these two pieces together, and now you're going to hot glue these two pieces together so that it'll come out looking something like that. Okay, so we have the body and head put together. And now we're going to add the head foam and the head filler. And the head filler is going to actually slide right up underneath like that. So to attach the head, you want to match it up to where your reference line is. See, there's our reference line. And we're going to put the top, the wider part of the head foam, right where those reference lines are. And we're going to glue that down. And I just kind of start at the top, add my hot glue, and press it down. You can always trim away. This one is a little bit too long, so I'm going to trim the bottom off of it. So we've got like that. And now we're going to take the head filler and slide it under there. This is going to make his head just a little bit plumper. And then finish gluing the head down. Just add your hot glue and hold it down. While I'm holding it down, I'm going to trim it up a little bit. It's kind of hanging over the edge here, so I'm just going to take off a little bit on the edges so that it'll lay right. Keep it a little rounder. Again, this is underneath, so it doesn't have to be pretty because no one's going to see it. You're going to cover it with fur. And now we've got a nice plump head. Okay, now we're going to do the same thing with the belly. We've got the belly foam. We've got this piece of belly foam, and then we have the filler piece of belly. And again, this belly piece is just going to lay right underneath there, like that. We're going to flip the puppet over because the head's going to lay this way. Imagine your hand's going to be going in this way and you'll be talking like this. So this is the puppet's belly. So we want to place the belly foam right in the center there and line it up to the top like that, so that we're going to have a nice plump belly. So now we're going to glue that down. I suppose if you want a skinny puppet, you could leave off the belly foam. It's up to you. See, it's pretty on there pretty firmly now. So there you go. Now you've got a nice plump puppet. Again, you're going to cover it with fur, so and there you go. We've got that part done. And that's going to be our puppet. We have to put his jaw, his mouth in now. Okay, so now we're going to add the mouth and the jaw. This is the jaw. What I do is actually go ahead and put the jaw on the bottom. You're going to end up folding this jaw over because it's going to talk like this. And the jaw is going to fit underneath it like that. So I'm going to go ahead and glue that jaw on there just find it easier to do it ahead of time. It's already on there. Don't worry about this writing, because we're going to end up putting red felt in there for the inside of the mouth. So, now you've got your jaw. Runaway jaw. And we're going to attach it to the inside of the head. The key when putting the mouth plate in is you have to make sure that you're leaving part of it open so that when you're actually working the puppet, you're able to get these fingers under here to get your puppet to move. So this is so that you can work the puppet's mouth. So you can see, I don't know if you can see where my fingers are up under there. So you don't want to put glue there, and you don't want to glue that part down because you need to be able to get your fingers in there. So you want to make sure that you're only gluing around the edges of this. And it's okay that this piece of foam doesn't exactly fit, because we can trim that later. Okay, so I'm just gonna, and then I'm gonna glue this down pretty much in the middle there. Okay, so when it folds over, I still have that room to put my fingers under there. Okay, so you're just gonna leave the bottom part hanging there for right now. Don't need to do anything with that. And now you've got a puppet who can open and close his mouth. Hello, how are you today?